As part of SCTN's efforts to reach the community and come up with new and interesting programming, we created this new show, SCTN on the Streets. As the name implies, we're out there in the community getting video of things you want to see. We hope you enjoy this first new episode, and if you have any ideas for future topics, please feel free to contact us. In the meantime, thank you for watching. So I'm here with Jen and Steve at the Creature Conservancy. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Conservancy, classes with summer camp, and some of the cool things you have going on here. So thanks for joining me today.
Sure.
So to start out with, Steve, how was the Conservancy founded?
Actually, we had an alligator left on our doorstep at the veterinary hospital a few years ago, and it became hard to place them because zoos were all filled up and they really shouldn't go back into private individuals' hands. And so I started taking them out into classrooms and doing educational programs with them while we were looking for a more permanent situation. And that's kind of where it grew out of. And actually on the homepage of our website, it talks about Al's story in a little more detail. And we still have Al, and right now we're building a large indoor swimming pool inside of a greenhouse for him. So he's going to actually be a permanent fixture here.
Wow. And so this property is huge, and you have many more animals now. So how did you kind of build that up?
Yeah, so after Al arrived, then we had other things left on our doorstep, and then we had the Humane Society call us and say, hey, you have them let out, or some ball pythons left in the dorm room, or hey, we just found an iguana running around on campus. And so we don't actively look for animals, but over the course of the last few years, since we started the nonprofit, I think we're up to probably over 100 vertebrates easily in the program. I think we've got about 50 different species of animals that we use in the programs. So kind of, I guess, in a nutshell, what we're trying to do is we're trying to repurpose these animals. We're taking former exotic pets largely, giving them a better home, and using them in educational programs. So it's trying to repurpose them.
Great. And so can you kind of talk about the programs a little bit? I know people can come here, but you also go to classrooms.
We go out to schools and do programs. We have this great classroom facility, so we like to bring in groups to do programs. When we go off-site, we can't go off-site with like Arthur, our emu, because he stands about this tall and he doesn't travel well. So we like to do programs on-site, but we do go off-site with a more limited range of animals. We try to stick to Washtenaw County, just the surrounding areas, very community-based organization. It is currently an all-volunteer organization. We're just staffed entirely by volunteers. We've got about 25 or 30 volunteers at any one time that take care of the daily chores, and it takes 3 people about 5 hours a day just to feed and water all the animals, 5 hours each, so a lot of man hours.
Yeah. And so, speaking of the classrooms coming in and you visiting, that's where Jen comes in with summer camp. So can you kind of talk about how you found out about the Conservancy and got that relationship started?
Sure. I actually meet with Ann Arbor Public Schools once a month, and we directors for childcare get together, and they talked about how they started working with the Conservancy for in-service days and half days and whatnot. So I got a contact for Steve, and I contacted him, and they were more than willing to come to us at Liberty for our summer camp, which will be on July 23rd. And then we are bringing the kids here for a classroom educational experience and guided tour on August 3rd. So we're really excited to be working with them. We're so fortunate that it's here in Saline. It's so close, so we want to definitely take advantage of that and try to keep this place open and get the kids some hands-on. And Steve, you can emphasize more how important it is. I mean, the kids get to touch the animals, and it's like super close quarters where they'll be with the animals. So
I think that a lot of kids learn in different fashions, and what's really cool about our program is they're visually seeing a live animal in front of them, and it gets them very excited. So you got to get them motivated first of all. They get the visual stimulation. They get auditory stimulation by hearing me talk about these animals, or one of the other presenters talk about the animals, and then they get to learn tactily when they go through and touch the animals. You know, if you're talking about the differences between vertebrate classes, and you're touching a reptile versus touching a bird versus touching a mammal, so we try to get information to the kids in a lot of different fashions, and we have really good props. I mean, the animals really get the kids very excited, so it's a great learning program.
Can you kind of talk about how a class would normally go?
Normally what we do is, and maybe I should actually just pull out my animals.
Yes,
That's
yes,
the
we
most
do
fun.
have some with us.
Okay, this guy is Phil, and Phil is one of our program animals. He's one of my favorite program animals. This is a Gila monster, originally from the Southwest desert. This particular animal was displaced by a housing boom. Nevada had a housing boom like much of the country in the mid-2000s, and every time they built out a new subdivision and they came across a Gila monster, they would send it off to a zoo or a nature center. So urban sprawl displaced this guy, and so that's how we ended up with him in our program. It's one of the most beautiful lizards on the planet, and it's also unusual in that it is a venomous lizard. There are only 2 species of lizards on the planet that are venomous, and this is one of the 2 species. He's a very, very interesting, very, very cool animal. So we talk about the fact that he's got warning colors. I guess to answer your question, we spend about 10 or 15 minutes, depending on the age group, talking about the natural history of the animal, where the animal comes from, how we acquired the animal, the biologically interesting facts about the animal, and then we do actually bring the animals around and give them a chance to touch. And so all the parents watching are probably thinking, oh my God, my kid's going to touch a venomous animal. Although I trust Phil, I don't trust kids. And so when we bring Phil around to be touched, he is safely enclosed in a tube, and in fact you can get a chance to feel him. It's one of the coolest feeling animals we have in the program. It's very bead-like feeling. In fact, the only other poisonous lizard on the planet is his cousin, the beaded lizard, and you can see where they get their name from, the beaded feel of this animal. So it's really cool for kids to see and touch animals that their parents probably have never touched. And so what we're kind of hoping to do is, we don't have any particular agenda in our nonprofit, but we kind of feel in general that it's one thing to hear about the rainforest being destroyed, but when you actually touch a sloth that lives in that rainforest, it kind of personalizes things for them, and we just try to educate them about these animals and what's going on with them.
That's great. And so Jen, what's kind of the kids' response to it? I'm sure it's great.
Oh my gosh, well, when I first came over to meet with Steve to talk about the animals and our possibilities of, you know, what he could bring to Liberty for summer camp and what we can see here, I mean, as an adult, it's so natural to be super excited. You know, one of the other animals they have is a skunk. I mean, who gets to touch a skunk? And whoever wants to touch a skunk. So the kids are, I'm sure, going to be super thrilled. And then the component of bringing in the enrichment and the education, and history, and the whole thought of a nonprofit organization. I mean, there's so much that these kids will interact with at camp when we work with the Conservancy. Just life skills and lessons that they'll learn, and the interactions are, I mean, they're priceless.
Okay, well, given that Jen mentioned a skunk,
Yes.
I thought I would bring out Pete. This is Stinky Pete. He is one of our most popular program animals. He is, of course, a skunk. This was actually a reject from a fur farm. A lot of people don't realize that skunks are still used for furs, and he apparently had poor coat quality, and he was a reject, and so we happily took him. He's one of our most popular animals, and certainly one of my favorite animals. I do have to say he is absolutely, hands down, one of the volunteers' most favorite animals, because he's the only one that uses a litter pan of all of our animals. So everybody appreciates that. And he's, of course, descented. It's very helpful to have a wife who's a veterinarian. She can take care of those things. But he is definitely a very popular animal. And kind of going back to just making kids think about what's going on with these animals. You know, I've worked with Pete now for about 1.5 years, and he's great. And the way I think when I pass a skunk that's been hit by a car is differently now than I did before I worked with Pete. You know, it's like, gosh, you know, I used to feel, you know, bad, but didn't really think that much about it. Now whenever I see a hit by car skunk, you think, gosh, I wonder what kind of personality he had. I wonder if he was like Pete, because Pete is certainly one of our favorite animals.
And so you mentioned the dates already, but any other information for people to know if they want to come on those days? Or
Our camp is super flexible, so if there are families out there that are looking for something fun, something enriching, something community-based for their child to be part of, they can register for our camp for only these 2 days or one of them. We have no, minimum number of days or maximum number of days that you can register. So July 23rd, the Conservancy will be coming to us, and on August 3rd, we will be coming here for a guided tour. So information about our camp is on our website. You'll see on our calendar the exact days that they're coming, and we encourage families to register so that the kids can be part of this community-based program and gain the knowledge and see Steve and the animals and just really get a hands-on experience.
That's really cool that you don't have to sign up for extensive periods of time.
No, yeah.
Just almost a drop-in basis. That's a really cool idea. It makes it a lot more flexible. I have kids myself, and we're looking at summer camps for our own kids, and just it's hard to commit to these blocks of time. So being able to drop in is a cool idea.
Yeah, thank you.
and for anyone who can't make those dates, Steve, do you want to give some information on anyone who?
Well, you can go to our website, thecreatureconservancy.org. It's a .org, not a .com, because it's a nonprofit. And we do have dates where we have public programs. We don't do a lot of them this time of year because we're really busy with classroom programs. But we have a really cool program in the fall celebrating Columbus Day. Columbus discovers a new world, so we look at New World animals. Our Halloween programs are extremely popular because we're looking at classic Halloween animals. We have vultures, we have owls, we have bats, we have all sorts of snakes and just classic Halloween animals in that program. So we do have public programs as well as our own summer camps as well. So, and there's also dates when we're off at libraries. We're at the Ann Arbor District Library a few times this summer too. And people can come out and walk around the facilities. We're not really set up like a zoo. We're not a zoo, but we do have some of the animals on display. You can see Arctic fox and emus pretty much any time of the year, and parrots during the summer, and I believe the alligator is now outside for the summer now too. So
Great. Well, thanks for having me here. I really appreciate it. So anyone who wants to sign up for the 2 summer camp days, go on Community Ed's website or call them. And if you're not, call or go on the Conservancy's website and find out.
well, thanks.
Thank you.
I'm here with Rob and Jen from Community Ed and from 212's Art Center. We're going to talk a little bit about 212 and also about their working with summer camp this year and some of the things you do in the community. So thanks for joining me, guys.
Thank you.
So to start out with, Rob, could you kind of talk about 212 Art Center, background, history, and whatnot?
So we've been in the community about 6 years. We're a local organization, nonprofit, that is, our mission is to bring visual arts and performing arts to the community. During the summer, we focus on youth programs, bringing art through our camps and community organizations, and we offer a wide range of art classes, everything from drawing to sculpture.
And what's kind of your background? What do you do here?
My background, this will be my 4th year of participating with the Art on the Go program. Started out as sort of an assistant instructor with that program back in 2008. And I've kind of worked my way up to somewhat organizing the program and figuring out projects and just organizing certain programs at 212. I'm also an instructor here for adult classes. I teach in a painting course, teaching one this summer, and I kind of just do odds and ends around 212.
And so Jen, how did you get in touch with 212 and start them coming over to work with summer camp?
Cindy Barnett and we met a couple years ago, and 212 actually came last year to summer camp. It was one of the last minute kind of things that we added onto our calendar as a perk for our parents and the kids that were coming. And we were so pleased with everything that they brought to camp and the appreciation that the kids ended up, getting towards the end of camp from being with them every week. That we just really felt like it was important for them to come again this year. So I got in touch with Cindy and Rob right away, and we're gonna make it happen.
Okay. And what do you do when you come to the classes, Rob?
Well, we organize the projects. Each week we offer a different project, and it's normally ranging in different mediums. So we try to get the children exposed to different art making processes. We include drawing, we include printmaking, painting, pastel. So we try to give the students a wide range. Some of it they might experience in their art classrooms here in Saline, but we also try to provide opportunities if they don't get a chance to use certain materials. At the community ed facilities at Liberty School, we're able to utilize a large room, but also we get a chance to do observational drawing out in their courtyard. We get to do projects that might be more fun in an environment where you get fresh air, you have an open courtyard, and we don't have to worry about, if the project is going to be too messy, because we're outside already. So.
The best part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, how was the kids' response last year, and were they excited about it coming back this year?
Yeah, I think that this year, knowing that they came last year, going into this year, I definitely anticipate that they'll be really excited to see Amara and Rob back. Last year, we planned on doing it, and it took a little while for the kids, because you say art, and they're like, oh, we don't want it to be like school. And then when, they started coming for summer camp, it's not like school. It's fun, it's messy, it's in the courtyard, we're in the cafeteria. They did some really cool things last year, and I think, after the first couple sessions, more and more kids were going down as a choice to do the art, which was really cool, so.
And I think you already mentioned it, but it's every Tuesday, you said?
Yeah, every Tuesday, 212 will be coming to summer camp through Community Ed, and we have an allotment of time built into our schedule for summer camp that's called teacher-directed time. So during that time, the kids do math, or they do science, or they do a large group activity, or they have the art option that we've added again this year during a block of time. Rob will also, which I think is really important, he's tailoring art projects that are good for K-3 kids, but then he's bringing stuff too that's good for the older kids. So it's not, a bunch of different mixed ages together doing the same project. They do different things with the different groups depending on what their level is. So we're excited to have him back again.
And what's kind of your view on working with the kids, and what do you get out of it?
It's a great experience. I'm going to Eastern Michigan University for art education, so being able to provide art classes and get the experience, I think, is what's most beneficial. Like I mentioned, it's been my 4th year, so I'm building up a lot of experience, especially working with these different programs in the community. I get to see how art can be included into their programs and how it can be brought to different areas of the community, especially in Saline. With the Art on the Go program, we offer art projects in different locations, and Community Ed is one of our stops.
Great. And is there anything else you guys would want to mention about summer camp or 212?
We have camp, Community Ed has their camp that we're going to be participating in, but also 212 has summer camps throughout every month throughout the summer, different age ranges and also different mediums. So we have camps for pottery, but also one specifically for shape, color, pattern, things like that. So.
Yeah, and I think with the way our scheduling works for summer camp, I think it's flexible for families to pick and choose their days. So if you have a child that is really into art, wants a little exposure, even wants to just experiment and play around with different mediums that they'll be bringing, the days that they come are great. And then we've had kids in summer camp where they've signed up for summer camp with us for every week, but then they see that there's a pottery camp going on here. They'll drop out from us, come to 212, and then they'll come back to us. So we really are working together, and we want to encourage the kids that are super into art to experience it at our summer camp, but then also here at 212, and it's in Saline. It's right down the road, so I think it's awesome to take advantage of it.
Great. Well, thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking with me, and go to summer camp at 212.
Yeah, thanks.
This has been an SCTN